Avalon Bay is upgrading our I-beam system. Before we get started, please take a few moments to read through our Safe Harbor statement. Now, let's talk more about this upgrade. Why are we upgrading, and how does it affect the system and its users? This upgrade will allow Avalon Bay and our partners to take advantage of the latest and greatest Oracle Primavera Unifier, or I-beam, attributes. We are all currently on version 18.8.5. On May 15th at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, the system will be taken down, and we will begin the process to upgrade to 19.12.2. I-beam users will be able to take advantage of the features and functionality of 19.12.2 as of May 18th. So in short, you'll be able to enjoy the benefits of the features and functionality introduced by Oracle. And what does this mean for you? Some of the changes include a new record layout. You'll want to spend a few minutes reacquainting yourself with the record structure, and additional functionality, including the ability to type ahead in many fields. So altogether, some of the changes that you'll see will give you the benefits that include fewer clicks, fewer open windows, and simpler data input, all of which help save you time. So now let's take a look at what will be different in the system post-upgrade. These are the main topics we're going to cover. Let's go in and take a look. First, make sure that you're utilizing the correct URL. If you've been using I-beam for a while, you may have saved a URL down as a favorite or a shortcut, but you'll want to make sure that this is the URL you utilize moving forward so that you'll get the correct information from the splash page regarding the upgrade. You'll utilize the same credentials you always use, and when you're ready, click Sign In. As you can see, when you first log in, everything looks pretty much the same. On your Home tab, you can still find your tasks. If it's been a while since you've utilized the system, make sure that your view is on View All tasks. That way you won't miss anything that's been outstanding. Now let's talk more about this additional preview pane. You can use these three dots to collapse or expand it. And for any record that you want to view more details of in the log view, you simply highlight it to show those details. Up at the top, you can see the record details, the workflow progress, and attachments, all without opening up that record and then opening additional windows. Fewer clicks, more time saved. We also introduced this announcements icon. When it's red, click in to find announcements provided by our product managers. After you've read them, the icon turns back to gray. Now let's take a look at this outstanding task. This is the current record format before the upgrade. Let's compare this format to what the record looks like in the new format. On the left, you see our current version. On the right-hand side, you see the upgraded version for 19.12.2. The first thing you'll notice is the location of the Accept Task button. In our current version, it's over here on the left-hand side. In the upgraded version, it's on the right. Also, here where you have your shortcuts and toolbar, the options have been put together under this icon in the new format. And you'll be able to find your Print button and your Help button, as well as some other options. Now let's talk about the basic record layout. Here on the left, you can see that this record is divided into three main portions. We have what we call our upper form, our task details, and our detailed line items. Now let's compare that to the right-hand side in the new version. This is your upper form, very similar. We'll talk about the task details in a little bit. And then here, where you have your schedule of value lines in this particular record, those details have been moved over to a new tab. So instead of being at the bottom of the record, now you would simply go to the new tab and find the same information. Fewer clicks, fewer open windows. And you also have this preview pane to see more information about each line item without needing to click in. Again, fewer clicks. If there are any additional tabs, they're now reflected right here. In the old record format, attachments were found on the lower left-hand side. Here in the new record, they're found on the right-hand side in the preview pane under the main tab. Similarly, the general comments have been moved up here to the preview pane as well, under comments. There are some additional tabs to view as well. For example, in the old version, if you wanted to view the workflow progress, you had to open some additional windows, starting here. In the new version, you can come to the Workflow Progress tab and see the workflow progress. Fewer clicks, fewer open windows, more time saved. Also in the older version, you could view the audit log by coming up here and then clicking Auto Log. This would show you what's taken place with the record since it was created and submitted. Now in the new version, you can just come to the Audit Log tab and view the same information. Fewer clicks and fewer open windows. Now, let's accept the task and see what feels a little bit different in the new version in processing an open task. As a reminder, the Accept Task button has been moved to the upper right-hand side. We'll go up to our Accept Task button and click Accept. Don't forget to look at the guidance notes found throughout the records. Here it tells us to remember to look at the comments. We'll be going through and updating any of these notes that don't perfectly match with the upgrade. Now, you can scroll through the document just as you would have in the past, but if you're utilizing the preview pane, the scroll bar is found here. To check the lower form, or what we would call the details, you now would look here under this additional tab, and you'll notice the additional information presented for you in the right-hand side in the preview pane. Now we're ready to send the record forward, and this is where it looks a little bit different. The first thing we're going to click is Send, and that's when you have your options for the workflow actions. They're the same workflow actions depending on the business process, such as send to colleague, and the colleague would number 1 need credentials to the system and number 2 be set up on this project for these tasks. You have the option to approve, or you have the option to send it back for revision. In this example, we're just going to say we're ready to approve the record. Now we can see what it's being sent for, who it's being sent to, and if that didn't auto-populate, you would be given the option to add the two, and you click Send. Now let's go to a project. You'll click the plus mark for a new tab, and then type in an identifier. This part hasn't changed at all. Once you're on the tab, the menu on the left looks the same, and you still click Create to create a new record. Here in the upgraded form, we can see that the upper form is right here available for us to start working. And then, when we're ready to do the lower line items or the payment details, we just click here. Let's go ahead and fill in this record and see how it's different. As you scroll down, you can find the first open field is Contractor PO. If you don't know your contractor PO number, you can click this select box and the available options present themselves. We'll scroll on down and enter your invoice date. Now this is just an example to show you what the records will do and how they look a little bit different. But notice that the completion of the record is still very smooth with a good flow. Now when it comes to adding attachments, we'll come right over here to the right, click on the paperclip for attached files, and browse. All of this should look familiar if you're used to creating records where you have attachments. But now the attachment is here in the preview pane. We'll keep working through the record just to show you what it looks like. Now in this section, where you have your certificate of insurance, you can start typing a vendor name and the system will auto-complete, making it even easier to find your COI. This is available on several fields, and as you can tell, it keeps you from needing to open an additional window and having to make additional clicks. Here you can see that you're able to collapse various boxes or blocks on the record. Should you go through and collapse any of these, either on purpose or by mistake, don't forget to reopen them so that you can take the appropriate action and fill out any necessary fields. Now we're ready to add our payment details. We'll go to this tab and click Add. Now, rather than a separate window popping up, we have the preview pane. You can click for the selector, choose your line item, enter your description, and your payment details. Of course, we're just showing this on one particular record. You can either save or you can click Save and Add New. Once you've saved a line item, you can copy that same line item for quicker data entry. You can see the information populated on the right, and I can just adjust it as necessary to keep moving. This is especially helpful if you have several line items to enter that have the same cost code. Not necessarily for pay apps, but definitely for contract creation. Right next to the Send button, you can click this icon, find the SOV, print, and even the help documentation within the system. We'll say that we're ready to send this record forward, so we'll click Send. If you've made an error or forgot to attach something, you'll receive an error message like this one. If there aren't any errors or you've corrected them, then you'll be able to move forward. Because we created this record, the only option is to submit for your workflow action, but you can see what it's being sent for and who the record's going to. When you're ready, click Send. And we can see that it's been created successfully. Here in the preview pane, we can see the status under Record Details. We can also switch over to the workflow progress without opening one more window. The two features we're looking forward to bringing to you in the near future are tooltips and email subject lines being modified so that they're more specific for your needs. Now let's talk about timing and other details. What should you expect? Our Avalon Bay internal users should attend one of the several webinars being offered. Internal and external users can utilize the job aids or the written instructions found within the system. And we're also creating a few videos to help you with the changes to the system. However, job aids and videos will take a while to create for this upgrade, so we appreciate your patience. What to expect? The upgrade will take place May 16th, 2020 through May 17th, but the system will be unavailable starting on May 15th at 11 p.m. Eastern Time through the 17th. There will be a splash page up on the site to remind you about the upgrade and to provide you with this video and some additional documentation. If you had saved the URL to iBeam before, you may have saved a variation that will keep you from seeing the splash page. This is the URL you'll want to make sure that you're utilizing. We anticipate you'll have full use of Unifier or iBeam and the new benefits as of Monday, May 18th, 2020. So who should you reach out to if you have any questions? Vendors may reach out to their Avalon Bay project team for assistance. All users are welcome to reach out to the iBeam support team either by phone or email. Thank you for taking the time to view this video. We look forward to the upgrade and all of the benefits it'll bring us, including fewer clicks, fewer open windows, and quicker data entry time. Stay well.